First of all, congratulations to Jacksonville State. They got a heck of a team, or not congratulations, but wish them well, and congrats to them on the season they're having. And that's a team that probably won't lose a game the rest of the year. They were 7-2 coming in here for a reason. A bunch of those guys are the same guys that went down to Tallahassee 2 years ago and beat Florida State. They're disruptive on defense. They got talented guys, athletic quarterback, all the things that we talked about as well. Having said that, we got to be a lot better. I mean, we really made it hard on ourselves at times today, and certainly there's a lot to clean up from today. I mean, I'm sitting here writing down things during the games and ran out of paper of all just the issues that we had, and that starts with me. So we'll get that cleaned up. We've got to be a lot better going down the stretch here than we were today, without a doubt. But, proud of our players. Come out, get points before the half, come out to start the second half, throw an interception on the first play. They go down on the field and score. It's just we never panicked. It just goes to the resolve and the fight of our players to just continue to hang in there. No panicking, just continue to make plays. And then we found a way to win it in the fourth quarter. A nice job by the offense to go down there and get 3 points. And then they went down the field a little quicker than we wanted them to, called a timeout there after that first down play when they were in the red zone just to try and save time for a 2-minute drive. And then what a play by Stone Blanton to get that pick six. That was awesome. We told our players at halftime that we needed some guys. The guys needed to make plays in the second half, and we had a lot of guys that made plays. So it feels great to win. Like I said, there's a lot to clean up and a lot to correct. We were not good enough in a lot of areas today, but we are going to celebrate the heck out of this game. And we just had one heck of a celebration in that locker room, and our guys are super excited and dancing their butts off. And they're going to be people that just live a miserable existence that are going to say, why are you celebrating a 10-point win over Jacksonville State? Well, that's why you're not on a team, and that's why you're not on in a locker room like that, because our guys work really, really hard during the week, and we know we need to be better, starting with me. I thought we coached poorly today in a lot of ways. So we'll be better, but this game is too hard, and we get 12 guaranteed Saturdays, and these kids work their freaking butts off, and proud as heck of them to find a way to win with a lot of the mistakes that we made. So when you win, you get 12 guaranteed. We're not like Major League Baseball where you get 162 games, or basketball where you get 40 games or 30 games. We get 12, and when we win, we're gonna celebrate it, and that's what we did today. And then we're gonna come in tomorrow and be very honest and truthful about why some of the issues happen. We got a lot we got to clean up, but proud of our guys, and that is one happy locker room. It's been a while since we had a win, and we're certainly going to enjoy this one. So, questions?
Somebody step up with David out here.
Yeah.
Shane, what can you say about the resourcefulness of your team to get 2 touchdowns from guys that play defense? You had to shuffle the offensive line almost immediately. And then what are you thinking as Jacksonville State there is driving for apparently what looked like a winning or tying score?
Yeah, you took that opportunity to ask the first question, Gene, and threw 3 in there. Let me see. When they were driving, it wasn't a good feeling. It was, let's get, if they're down here. And as soon as we kick the field goal, we told the offense, you're going to have to go back, and it's either going to be for a 4-minute drive to win the game, or it's going to be for to wrap the game up, or it's going to be a 2-minute drive to have to win it. And so we started talking about that as soon as we kicked the field goal, Gene. And, they made a nice play on the deep ball down there on the sideline. So at that point, I was thinking, okay, we need to make sure we save time. Let's get our field goal block team ready. If it's a field goal, to block a field goal and try and win the game. And then if they do kick the field goal, let's hold them to a field goal. And then if they score a touchdown or tie, let's make sure we have enough time remaining to get a 2-minute drive, offensively. So that's why we called the timeout. And then what a play by Stone. We talk on defense about putting the ball down, and we weren't good enough today. We allowed them to have 84 plays for too many yards and be over 50% on third down. There's no doubt we have to be better, but guys got stepped up and got turnovers when they had to. Defensive players scoring touchdowns, whatever it takes. It was a fun thing that we put in for Tonka on that first touchdown where we handed him the ball, just trying to, he's a great kid, great player, an athletic guy carrying the football. You've seen some of that on some of the extra point things we've done with him on little 2-point conversions. So confident in him running the ball, happy for him, happy for Stone. And then what was the other part, something about the offensive line? Just the mix and match, is that what you said? Help me again.
Yeah, just the shuffle. You had to do that right away.
Yeah, we did. It's kind of like, gosh almighty, again, when Jakai went out. But fortunately, getting Kaysen back and getting Vershawn back gave us a little bit more flexibility in there because we had more bodies, But then there was a time where, Mario was out of the game, DeCarrion was out of the game. We were down to Juju McDowell basically as our only running back. And a lot of the stuff we were doing today offensively, as you guys noticed, was getting 3 running backs on the field at one time. That's how we started the game, 3 running backs, 2 receivers, and no tight ends. So we lost a lot of our personnel package in the game when those guys got hurt, which made it tough sledding. But, guys just made plays and found a way to win it.
You and Clayton have talked for 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe, about the need for turnovers, and Clayton said they'll come in bunches, they'll come in bunches, and today the well kind of broke a little bit, and you got 4 of them. Was that relief? How exciting are those when they come, and especially at the times when you need them?
Yeah, we needed them today. I mean, that was huge because we got the one right before halftime, the one at midfield. That was huge because that led the points and momentum going into the half. We needed that one, and I told them that at halftime that, these things come in bunches, and we just got one. Let's keep it going. And we knew we'd have an opportunity to. They're really good on offense. As you saw today, but a lot of what they do, because they do so much of the read action, tossing, RPOs, that there were going to be opportunities if we attacked the ball, that the ball was going to be on the ground. So we'd been emphasizing it all week. So absolutely needed it today. It was huge in the game. When you let the other team run 84 plays for 421 yards and go over 50% on third down, you're probably not going to win. But if you win the turnover battle, you probably are. And that was obviously the difference in the game today.
You mentioned how you guys were dancing in the locker room. Earlier this week, you guys were talking about making this game fun, despite the fact that you guys have to face adversity. How much of a exhale, deep breath do you kind of feel that you've got to win, you got that moment to celebrate again, and a lot of these younger players who are facing adversity for the first time are getting a moment to kind of enjoy and have fun?
And that's what I meant by, we're going to enjoy it and celebrate it, because these guys do work so hard, and I get it. That's what I meant a minute ago. There's going to be people that, don't want to celebrate victories, and this game is too hard, and these guys work too hard. They work 353 days a year for basically 12 opportunities. So when we're successful because of the work that we put in during the week, it may be ugly, and we had to find a way to win it in the fourth quarter, but we're going to celebrate it. And that's what I told the team in the locker room, was just how happy I was for them. Like, as the head coach, I hurt for them and our coaching staff on Saturdays when I'm not able to get it done and we're not successful, because I know how hard they work during the week, players, coaches, staff, everybody, and I take that personal, and I haven't done a good enough job over the last 4 weeks allowing us to have these Saturdays. So and that's why I'm so proud of our players, because people, I know you guys I know you get tired of me talking about, we had a great week of practice. And we did. And the fun that our guys have on the practice field, anybody that came and watched us practice would not think that this is a 2-6 team because of the young men we have in this program and how they work during the week. So for them to get the opportunity to be successful on Saturday, that's what I'm most, happy about. As a coach, I'm thinking about all the things that we got to clean up and do better. We'll do that tomorrow for sure. But, nice to have a noon game and have the afternoon and evening to relax and enjoy this one and get back to work tomorrow.
Shane, okay, going back to practice, you said that Xavier was looking more, just like Xavier.
Yes, sir.
And still, how impressive is his performance today, especially when you consider he's been banged up here?
Yeah, we just gave out some game balls in there. I didn't realize he had 217 yards in receiving. Is that a record or something?
Short, 16 yards short.
Short. All right. Juice tried to tell me it was a record, so Juice is giving me bad info in there. What a performance! But it just goes back to playmakers, and our best players have to step up. And Zay will be the first to tell you that or I'll be the first to tell you when we lost Zay against Missouri, that was a big loss for us. And then when he'll be the first to tell you he was not at his best last week, the way he played. I'm not saying it. He'll tell you the same thing if you asked him. And he came back this week and looked like the Zay of that we've been used to all season, and he showed it. The way he made plays, and really proud of him.
You mentioned DeCarrion came out of the game. Just wondering if you could provide an update on him and some of the other guys that went down.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The carry-on's got an ankle. We'll see tomorrow how significant it is. But right now, it's an ankle. Don't know prognosis for that one. Hopefully not long. And then everybody else should be okay. Jakai went out. He came back. Hunter went down. He came back and was fine. Who else? Mario had a shoulder, but he came back and was fine as well. So that was a physical game. That's a physical team that we just played. And there was some hitting going on out there. But it looks like coming out of it injury-wise, everybody's okay. Case and Henry went out. He came back as well.
On Stone's interception, what did you see as far as his reading of the play, and was he absolutely in the exact right spot where he was supposed to be?
He was. I thought the guy made a really instinctive play. That's the thing about Stone is he's such a gym rat. He's always in the building. Anytime, Phil, that I go by the linebacker meeting room, even when the players don't have to be there, he's typically in there watching tape on his own. And it starts on Mondays, which is the off day for the players. He's always in there. So he studies video. He's so smart, so instinctive. We made him a captain today for that reason, the way he's been playing and the leader he is. And I just thought he made a really instinctive play. If the quarterback I don't know if the quarterback thought the guy for Jacksonville State was going to look back. I'm not sure what was going on, but thankfully Stone was in the right place and he made a really instinctive play. Now, if the quarterback had thrown it deep and the guy had kept going, we may be having a different story right here. But I think Stone certainly was in the right place and saw the ball and made a great play.
Not only with those turnovers, just big in general, but there are really opportune times for your team.
Yeah.
3 of them ended up in important scores, and the last one sealed the game. How important were those turnovers in those specific moments for you guys?
Huge. The one at the end of the first half, for sure. The other one, the first one, because it was 3 in the second half, right? The first one and the first one that we had in the second half was huge because they had some momentum, and I think that was around midfield too, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it? Or somewhere in the area. And then obviously Stones, and then even when we score, it's still a 2-score game, right? Yeah, it's still a 2-score game, and they've got time and they got time out. So we knew, okay, we just ran this thing back, but we got to go back. And they're going to have an opportunity to go down the field again and potentially kick an onside kick and all that as well, worst case scenario. But really good play by O'Donnell, stepping up right there and making that play. Pretty cool that O'Donnell can make it. I was telling the players, my wife and I went to dinner the other night in Sumter after I got done with the radio show, and we were kind of giving them a history lesson of the Gamecocks versus the Gamecocks and Thomas Sumter and the Fighting Gamecock and the Revolutionary War, and that there's a statue of Thomas Sumter over in Sumter, and O'Donnell Fortune from Sumter, South Carolina, makes a play to finish it. So it's very, very fitting, if you ask me, from that standpoint. Some of y'all are looking at me like, what is this guy talking about? I get it.
Coach, I know you've had an emphasis, on the defensive side of the ball, of finishing the plays, when you're in the right position to make the play, to finish them. I know specifically after the Florida game, that's kind of what I'm alluding to.
Yeah.
How would you evaluate that element of the defense today?
Had our moments. Certainly, we were in position to make some plays on a couple of those deep balls, and they made them, and we didn't. So that was disappointing. The one that was the touchdown, the one that got them down there in position to score on that drive before Stone's interception. We were in position, and they made the play, and we didn't. And then I thought we did a decent job. Obviously, when we're knocking the ball out like we did, we're finishing in the right way. So saw some where we did, and to me, that's life as a defensive back, and we played a lot of man coverage today, for sure. And they hit some passes, in man coverage as well. And our guys made some plays, but we certainly got to continue to make more of them. But we made them when we needed to, without a doubt.
Rich Rod teams always run the ball well, especially with the tempo they got. But
Yep.
225 yards and 50 carries or whatever. How would you evaluate your run defense today?
Not good enough. Now, they average, I think, coming into this game, they were averaging 48 carries a game. So for them to have 57, it's too many. For them to have 84 plays. Now, part of that's offensively, us going 4-14 on third down and 0 for 2 on fourth down. One of those is on me on the fake punt. But we were out there too many plays defensively. So when you do that, your number of plays, your yards, the rushing yardage is going to go up. But there's no question, 225 yards is too many, and the quarterback makes it really, really tough. But he what did he do? Rushed for 65 today, so too many. But he's an athlete. But I thought we missed some tackles. We took some bad angles in the first half. We lost leverage a couple times, and that runs up the run total also.
You guys were kind of saying earlier this week you guys were practicing like it's the Super Bowl out there. How I know it comes down to practice like you play and all that, but how much of a difference did the way you guys prepared for the game kind of reflect in the final score?
I think a lot. We always emphasize takeaways in practice defensively, and we have even more the last couple of weeks. Spending even more time on it, and it's kind of one of those. I think I may have mentioned it to you guys last week or in the press conference where I'm thinking, okay, maybe we're emphasizing it too much in practice, and we're not getting them. But we got the takeaways. That was good. Really, just the energy. And we talk about competition all the time, and a lot of the energy that we have in practice is created by the competition that we produce in practice, the situations we put them in where guys have to compete, whether it's offense versus defense or one-on-one or two-on-two or whatever it might be. And then to me, you saw that today when a lot of guys made some great individual plays. That goes back to, competition. And then the frustrating thing for me was just early on, I didn't think we were playing with the same energy early in the game than what we practiced with on Tuesday and Wednesday. And we get out there in practice, we have fun, and yes, the games are different, but they don't need to be different. We need to make sure we're playing with the same passion, and we did that against A&M last week throughout the game, the way we played, and we did it at the end also. I just saw it the first half was just kind of not a lot of energy, not a lot of emotion by our own doing. We've got to create that, but certainly the sideline, the fans, everybody, it was just a lot more what it needed to be in the second half.
And then what do you kind of say to your guys in the locker room when you feel like they're lacking all that energy in the first half?
I talked about that one, we needed to make sure that we said going into this game that we needed to be the hardest playing team out there, because I've got so much respect for Coach Rodriguez, and I told him before the game, like, you watch the way his players play, you watch the energy on the sideline, I mean, it's always the same. And we had to be the hardest playing team out there. Physically, I get it. We have, for the most part, better players, or not for the most part. I say every position we should have better players than them, being in the SEC. And we needed to make sure that we didn't allow an edge for them to be how hard they played. And there were at times in the second half that we just, my frustration at halftime was outside of Mario's 40-yard run, we had 9 yards rushing at halftime. And that bothered me, because we talked about make them feel you all week, meaning Jacksonville State. And if you got 9 yards rushing at halftime, we're not doing that. So that was the message at halftime, challenging the offensive line. We got to get going and be able to move the ball better, and then quit waiting around for somebody else to make a play. I get the sense that everybody's just kind of looking around, just assuming everything's going to be okay, and somebody else is going to make a play. We need somebody to make a play. And I told them that, the guy on our sideline that to me had the most energy in the first half was DQ Smith, and he was suspended. So I said, he's got the most energy out there, and some of you guys are not that aren't playing in the game or are playing in the game. We just don't look like us. And I said, I know how DQ is going to play in the second half, because he's so excited to get back out there, and he did, and we need to make sure we all are as well, and those guys did it.
So kind of looking at Xavier Legette and how he fit in, last 2 weeks he hasn't played 100%. You said it yourself. He was still coming back from an injury and all that stuff. Comes back, has over, I think it's 150 receiving yards today. How important is he away from the red zone for you guys, being able to move the ball and have that connection with Rattler to get the 65-yard touchdown or the 52-yard reception? Yeah,
he's such a deep play threat. And it gets down to your players got to make plays, and Xavier is a threat every time he touches the ball, and he's a deep ball threat without a doubt. And, they were down one of their corners today. We knew that and felt like, because of how they play defense, they're really disruptive. We knew that going into it, but we felt like we'd have some opportunities in the passing game downfield to make plays, and they had a hard time defending Xavier. There's no doubt about it, and he is a threat. He's a threat everywhere, in the red zone, outside the red zone, on special teams as well.
Coach, Josh Simon, 11 targets today, made a couple big plays, and almost had him another touchdown for the second straight game. How big has he been with the absence of Trey today?
Yeah, he's been good. He had to do a lot today. We weren't in as much 12 personnel as normal, missing Trey. We did it a little bit at the end of the game. Connor Cox came in. Nick Elksness is there as well. So Josh had a lot on his plate today. He's a guy that's normally playing 20, 30 plays, and today he had to play a lot more on offense. He was a starter on our punt team. I had to remind him that you're playing more offense. You got to stay out there on punt on fourth down because we had to call a timeout in the first half when he ran off. That's on me, poor coaching. But he's awesome. He can make things happen with the ball in his hands. You guys saw it on that touchdown catch he had against Florida where he ran that guy over, and he did a lot of that today. He's just he's a really talented guy that the game continues to slow down for him, and he continues to make plays for us also.
Hey, Beamer, on Tuesday, we talked about the margin of error is low for this team. So describe what a win like this, given the adversity that you guys faced, could help you guys moving forward with the last three here.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, I'll be the first to admit when you're 2-6 and you haven't won a game in, 6 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever it is, counting the off week and things, it's draining. It really is, mentally, physically, because you put a lot into it each week, Sunday through or Saturday to Saturday. You put a lot into it getting ready for game day, and then when you're not successful, it's really hard. And then you got to pick yourself right back up, which is life. Adversity happens, and then get ready to do again and just continue to fight and continue to stay in the fight. But that's certainly – that can wear on you mentally as you go, players, coaches, and it's easy for me. Like I sit in the building, the facility during the week, and I'm insulated. I leave my house in the morning, it's dark. I come home at night, it's dark, and about the only people I talk to are high school coaches, recruits, and my family. But our players, they're the ones that are there, and we have them 4 hours a day, and they're in class, and they're out and about more and more. So it's certainly tough. So when you're able to get a win, get back on the winning track, particularly in a game where you make so many mistakes, we'll be able to go in on Sunday and show our guys all the mistakes that we made, coaches and players, and all that we have to clean up. Without a doubt, it helps because it gets that momentum going. And we've been saying all week, they remember November. And you got to get the first one before you get any more after that. And today was, number one. We know that what we were today is not going to be good enough the rest of the way. I'm well aware of that, and we have to get that fixed. But before tomorrow, we're going to enjoy this one, relax. There were some great smiles and some good dance moves and all that in the locker room as well. So I'm happy for our players. They deserve it. They're great young men, and I mean it. Like every Sunday, no matter how gut-wrenching the day before might be, I love coming back in the building on Sundays and being around our guys because they're resilient and they're the right kind of guys that you want in that locker room. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.